All right, so this video is gonna be some real talk about entrepreneurship. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth of what it's like and what you will experience as an entrepreneur. And if you wanna stay in this for the long run and you want to be a successful entrepreneur that is doing it for many years, there are certain things that you are going to experience and there are certain things that you have to do if you want that. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Adrian and I have been on this entrepreneurial journey since around 2016, 2017. I've started a lot of different side hustles, started some businesses. I've done a lot of different things online, and a lot of those things I failed at. That's just part of, being an entrepreneur, but I've had some good success and, success to where I was able to, about a year ago, coming up on my year mark, which is exciting, I was able to quit my 9-to-5 job and, go full-time entrepreneur, full-time self-employment, which was very scary decision, but very big and rewarding. So I just want to share some things I've experienced and been through and things that have just really, helped me on this journey, and I think it could help you as well. All right, the first thing I want to get into is, as an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to test things. This is something that, I've learned over the years, right? Being an entrepreneur, you're probably going to be trying a bunch of different things. And I think what a lot of people deal with, this is something that I was dealing with in those more beginning stages, is you could be scared to test things. And it was something I seen in another video and I was like, man, I remember that point and it was a struggle. And that's, when you're trying to get something started, maybe it's a business, side hustle, you have to put yourself out there, and that's really scary. I don't think people talk about that enough. And just, putting yourself out there publicly is very scary. That used to be very scary to me because I used to have that thought of what if it doesn't work, right? And kind of would be thinking I would be somewhat, like embarrassed because people see me trying, right? And I'm failing, or I'm, consistently failing at these things that I'm trying. But, I learned quickly that you just have to be willing, man, to test, because let me tell you something. When you start something, whether it's, side hustle, online business, whatever, it's not going to work how you expect it to work the first time, right? So I think people need to understand that and know that there's going to be a phase in the beginning where even in, the future, but a lot of things aren't going to work, right? And you can't let that get to you. And that's something I used to do. It would kind of kill my motivation. It would have me very down on myself. Like I said, sometimes I would feel embarrassed, a little, embarrassment because, I'm doing these things publicly. So, it's important to just really have realistic expectations and just getting that mindset ready for, I'm gonna have to test a lot. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to fail. But this is part of the journey, and this means that, I'm chasing growth because I'm experimenting, I'm testing, I'm trying new things, and it really just builds that resilience and mindset that you need to be successful with this. I'm just glad that I was able to, develop my mindset and keep pushing, because there were times where I wanted to quit. I really doubted myself. Things weren't working. But that's just part of the journey. And when you can push through those things, when you can view those things differently, when you can learn from those things and you're just resilient with it, that's when you really kind of get that success that you're looking for. Like with me now, being able to, work for myself full time. And, there were times where it didn't look like I would get to that point. And there were a lot of failures, but I continued to just be resilient and test and pivot and continue to show up. So if you are going through those periods where, maybe things are flopping, maybe things online aren't working, you're just not getting the results you want, I just want to kind of give you that pep talk to be like, just keep going. Keep your head down, You know, just know that this is part of the journey, and you just have to adjust and show up again, adjust, show up again. And that's just kind of what I tell myself and what I live by now. You know, adjust, keep adjusting. You know, this is being an entrepreneur. Keep adjusting and keep going, keep showing up. All right, guys, so the second thing I want to talk about is super hot. I'm sweating like crazy. But successful entrepreneurs, they have the ability to take an L, you know? They can take a loss, take it on the chin, and adjust and just keep moving, right? So not letting these failures, or not even viewing things that go your way as a failure. This is was like a big hurdle for me when it came to just, you know, getting over that and working on my mindset around that of, you know, when things didn't go my way, it's not a failure, right? I was still trying, I was still showing up. And I should have been acknowledging that more. I think a lot of us can be too hard on ourselves when things don't go our way, and may just view it as a failure, or that you can't do it, or that you're not cut out for it. But that's far from true. You know, those failures and losses are really stepping stones. You should view them as stepping stones. They're teaching lessons, right? Look at these things as something that you can learn from. You can adjust and you can come back even better and get better results. So as you can see, the stuff I'm really talking about, and I feel like I preach this a lot in my other videos, is mindset. Because a lot of this stuff is revolved around your mindset. A lot of the success, or what I view as success now that I've had, is because of the work that I've done when it comes to my mindset. You know, you should try to look at it as it's a learning lesson, you know? Switch the thoughts on it. Like, think about things like that don't go your way as, what can I take away from this to improve and get better, instead of thinking about the negative or the bad. Or maybe, you know, there's been a lot of situations in this journey that I've lost a lot of money. Like, it's kind of crazy just thinking about all the money that I've lost kind of getting to this point, but that was needed to get to where I'm at now, and I learned from those situations. Just remember that it's easy to get down on yourself. It's easy to complain. It's easy to say, you know, maybe something is against you. Maybe it's the algorithm. Maybe it's a platform that you're on. Those things are easy to do. I think that's what losers do. But winners, they take it on the chin and they keep going. And they look at that situation and see the positives that they can take away from it to improve the next time. I'm gonna leave y'all with that, guys. But let me know in the comments, you know, what's something that has really helped you on this I cannot say that word right, entrepreneurial journey. Leave a comment, let me know. I'm gonna finish off this walk. It is too hot. I need to go home, get in the AC, but I'll see y'all in my next video. Peace.